Yo, what's going on, guys? Clutch here, back again with another video for you guys. Now, this one is going to be the 4-4-2 tactics. I put out a tweet asking what do you guys want, and you guys wanted the 4-4-2, the updated ones that I've used. Obviously, these are made for me. I need people to know that they are made for me, because some people have issues of saying, I had a couple comments saying that people don't like the way I'm doing my tactics, and that's fine. They're not made for people. I need people to really understand that, because I don't want people being misled thinking I make these tactics for you guys to get better. These tactics are used for me, and literally only me, and it's only for the fact that people ask for them is the reason why I upload them. So yeah, before we get into the video then, if you haven't already, please drop a like, drop a comment if you enjoy the video, drop a sub. We just hit over 2.5k, so, you know, a quarter of the way to 10k is what we love to see. If you haven't already, please drop a sub, because 88%, nearly 89% of the people watching, don't subscribe to the channel. So boys, come on, I'd really appreciate it. All right, allow me, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to get straight into it. So as usual, we're going to start from ultra attacking all the way to ultra defensive. Defensive is the one that we start the game with, so anyone who's wondering, that's the one I start with before all the comments happen about it. All right, boys. So what we're going to do, we're going to get straight into the 4-4-2, the ultra attacking. So obviously, as usual, I play constant pressure. Now, some people seem to have an issue with me playing constant pressure. They thought pressed after possession loss was better. I prefer constant pressure. I think it's better. I think I win the ball back better with constant pressure than I do press after possession loss or anything else. So it's, like I said, it is all preference. So I'm a big constant pressure fan. Obviously, there's a lot of pros and cons to it. Obviously, your players get dragged around everywhere and their stamina drains. But also, they press the ball so well, so high up the pitch, and you get so many more opportunities using constant pressure. The width is 5 on the defensive, because that is the width that I find the most comfortable with the 4-4-2. The 4-4-2 is a very flat, balanced formation, so having a flat, like a mid-range width kind of just made sense to me, and it's worked well for me, so that's why I'm using the 5 width. Depth is on 7. That's just to press higher up the pitch so he can win the ball back. Offensive style is on fast build up. Now obviously, because we have wide players, 2 CMs, there's a lot of width and there's a lot of space that you could potentially use in the 4-4-2. So fast build up is always a really great way to get up the pitch and expose those spaces and score some goals, especially in the 4-4-2. It works really, really well. Now obviously we've got the offensive width, which is on 5. Now, like I always say to you guys, some people when they go ultra attacking, they just put these dials up for the sake of just putting them up, but it doesn't really make any sense to me. I stay the same width because that's what I found to be comfortable with. All right, so that's why I'm staying on 5 width. Players in the box is on 7. That's obviously just because we're just trying to get bodies in the box to try and score some goals. Provide options for those wide crosses, just to give a lot more passing options inside the box as well. So that is why we're on 7. Corners is on 3 because we want bodies in the box. Also want to be protected on the counter attack, and then we have free kicks on 1. Because we're just shooting. Again, this is how the team's set up. So there you go there. So both of the strikers are on getting behind, stay forward. Now both of the strikers are on getting behind to abuse the through balls, as I always say. We all know how overpowered the assisted through balls are, so why not use it? Now obviously the 2 strikers are on stay forward because we want them to get up the pitch and score goals. So that is why they are both on stay forward. Not really much more to say about that. Now we have one of my 2 DMs, so Vieira is my more out and out DM. So usually I always advise having a defensive centre mid CDM and then a bit more of an attacking one. So I've got Vieira as my defensive one, and then Bruno as my attacking. So on my defensive one, I have attacking support on balance for the all-out attack. That's just because I want him to get up the pitch a little bit to prevent reset options if we can't create an opportunity on the first attack. And then I've got him on stay on the edge of the box for cross, again to stay on the edge and just provide passing options, and then cover centre because I have a lot of wide options as is, and we actually need to protect the centre of the pitch. Now my other CDM, or centre mid, is Bruno Fernandes, and he's on get forward, get into the box for cross and cover centre. That's just to provide more scoring options and just give myself more attacking options when we're trying to score goals. Now I have the same tactics for both wingers. It's stay forward, obviously, to get forward, getting behind to abuse the through balls, and try and get into those spaces in between the fullbacks and the centre backs. And then we have get into the box across to abuse the RB squares, or RBXs, or R1 squares. So that is why we have that on. And then we have both of the fullbacks on balance because we want them to get up the pitch a little bit, but also we want them to defend. So that is why we have them both on balanced. So we'll get into the attacking tactics now. So We are defensive style is press after possession loss. Now, press after possession loss is a great way to win the ball back. It lasts for about 7 seconds. It's just a bit more of a passive way of trying to press the ball, like compared to constant pressure. So basically, for 7 seconds after you lose the ball, your team will press the ball, but after that, it switches off and goes back to normal. So it just gives you that opportunity to press the ball back straight away, and if not, then you can just reset and try and defend. Now, these attacking tactics are the ones that I would probably use. Say if it's a draw, but I feel like if I can be a bit more aggressive and a bit more attack heavy, I could probably win the game. Obviously, there's risks to it, but that's the reason why I'm using it. Now, the width is still on 5. Like I said, it's just the width that I'm comfortable with the 4-4-2. The depth is on 5, so we brought it down a little bit as we're not trying to be as attacking as it is still in a draw situation. So that's why it is on 5. Depth, offensive style is on fast build-up. As I said before, it's a really great way to get up the pitch with a 4-4-2 with the wide options, and we're just trying to be a bit more attacking, so using fast build-up will help us get up the pitch quicker and have more attacking options. Width is still on 5 again. Like I said, it's just what I found to work for me on the 4-4-2, so that's why we're sticking with 5. Players in the boxes, so my 2 CMs and then my bit more of attacking centre midfielder will push into the box, but I don't want to overload the box too much and have almost be too much in the box and not have enough reset options, so I can try and reset the play if I don't feel like I can score off of that opportunity. Corners is on 2, so I brought it down a little bit just to offer a bit more of a counter-attacking, like a bit more like protecting the counter-attack option, and then free kicks is still on 1. Now, both of the strikers are only on getting behind. They are not on stay forward anymore because we're not trying to be as aggressive and as attacking. But obviously they are both on getting behind to abuse the through balls. We have the attacking centre mid is on balanced attack and balance runs into the box. So like I said, just being a bit more passive, not as aggressive, but he's still on cover centre. And then you have your other CM, you're a bit more of a defensive one. He's on stay back and stand the edge of the box and cover centre, just to provide the reset options and protect the defence. Now, obviously, on the wingers, they are both the same. It is on getting behind and getting to the box for cross. Now, getting behind is obviously abuse the through balls, and getting to the box for cross is to abuse the R1 squares or the RBX crosses, and that is the same for both wingers. And then we have both fullbacks on stay back while attacking. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get into the defensive ones. So this will be the one that I will start the game with, the ones that I find to be the most standard, and if you're trying to figure out how an opponent's playing and trying to figure out how to counter how they're playing, this is what I would use. So defensive style is on balanced, and like I said, these tactics are what I'd use at the start of the game just to try and figure out how the other person's playing. But obviously, like I said, a lot of the time in the game I'll switch things up just to play how I feel like I need to play to counter the opponent. So the width is on 5 still. Like I said, I don't change it. I don't know why that's lower, but I don't change the width. So 5 width, we're just sticking with that. The same with the depth. We're still on 5 depth. I think 5 depth is it's probably the one that I prefer the most with the 4-4-2 at the moment. Just to have that bit higher of a defensive line, and just try and push those strikers further back, and not give them as much space to kind of dribble and have like use skill moves, I guess. Offensive style is unbalanced again. Like I said, this is just a bit more of a blank canvas and just trying to hold the ball, and not necessarily hold the ball, but try not to just commit to anything and just try figure out how the opponent's playing and play to suit around that. So that's why we're on balanced. Now the width is still on 5 because it's just the one I prefer. Players in the box is on 4. Now, that is, sorry, I apologise. That is on 4, just because we want the centre mid to be a bit less aggressive and just to stay back a bit more. Corners is on 2, just to prevent the counter attack, and free kicks is on 1. Now we will get into the instructions. These instructions are exactly the same as the last one, so I'll just quickly do a quick scan through of it. I'm not going to go into it in full detail because I literally just spoke about the same thing. So both strikers are on getting behind to abuse the through balls. Both wingers are on getting behind and getting to the box for cross to abuse the through balls as well, and to also abuse the R1 squares or the RBX crosses. We've got one centre mid on balanced and cover centre. Literally just your more attacking centre mid to try and provide a bit more attacking options. And then you have your more defensive-minded centre mid, who's on stay back while attacking and cover centre. And then you have all 4 defenders on stay back while attacking. And now this last tactic is your Hail Mary, trying to just defend the goal and just trying not to concede too much. So that is why, obviously, you can see these tactics here, but this is the ultra defensive. So defensive style is on drop back. So obviously that's just because we're just trying to get everyone behind the ball and defend the goal. Pretty self-explanatory. 5 width, as I've keep saying, it's just what I'm most comfortable with. Depth is on 2 just because we're trying to get everyone back and defend the goal. Long ball, as I always say, incredibly great overpowered like tactic if you're sitting back and trying to counter quickly. Those over-the-top through balls with strikers with good pace and high attacking positioning work really, really well. And I'd really advise it if you can, like if you have those kind of players in your team. The width, again, is still on 5 because that is what I'm most comfortable with. Players in the box is on 2 just because we're not trying to counter-attack. Maybe I put it on 3 just to get the other striker in the box, but for now, I'll keep it on 2. And then both corners and free kicks are on 1. Oh, sorry, guys. I had a terrible night of sleep. Jesus. So, what we do, both strikers are on getting behind. Still abuse the long ball tactic and abuse the through balls, but are both on comeback on defence to help defend. Both wingers are on comeback on defence to help defend the goal. They're on stay wide to provide passing options to try and beat the press, because at this point, the opponent's going to be trying to press you. So if I have them on stay wide, they'll hang out in those wider areas and give passing options. So I don't have to worry too much about being pressed off the ball in my own defence. And then they're on conservative interceptions because I don't want them to lunge out and auto lunge for anything I don't want them to. Both centre mids are on stay back while attacking cover centre to defend the goal, and then all 4 defenders are on stay back. But yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. So like I said, they are my 4-4-2 tactics for every single part of like my setup. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, and let me know down below what videos you want to see next. Turn the notification bell on if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.